no, now we're extra small. You know what? We said we would do this when Quantumania came out. I guess we kind of forgot. So let's just start the podcast like this. Let's start it small. If you guys aren't watching the video version, you're missing out. We're little. We're little.
How little? Postage stamp?
It's like half the size. So instead of full camera width, it's just like squished up. When we like in the moments that I bring a browser up on screen and we have our cameras off to one side, it's that aspect ratio, but just a tad bit bigger and in the middle of the screen. So we're just squished right now. All squished.
Squished in the middle, smack dab in the middle.
Exactly. Melissa, how's your week been?
It's good. I have a big new book.
Ooh.
Look at this sucker. This is the size of a tombstone. This is the Lost Encyclopedia.
Oh, man, that looks so cool.
I just went to a local used bookstore just to get like decor books. Like I got a new TV that's got these like two little legs on either side and they're a little wobbly. So I'm like, let me get a bunch of books to sort of like
stand it on.
Set in the middle. Yeah, kind of give it a little bit extra support there. Found this massive thing for like $15 or something. That's true bargain. It's the copyright date is 2010, so this should have everything in it. All of Lost.
There we go. I had to put us back to the original aspect ratio so we could see the book proper. Because that's a big old
book too big.
Big guy there. The Lost Encyclopedia. All right, what does it have to say about Alvar Hanso?
I don't know. I just looked open to a random page. We do have a picture of Sun's dog.
Okay. Very important content.
So it goes like that detailed. Okay. H for Hanzo. Let me find it. I am in J. Okay. H for Hurley.
Hot Pockets.
Oh my God. Oh, a whole spread on Dharma products. This is beautiful.
Detergent.
I want this as a poster for my home. Okay. Whole page on Horace Goodspeed.
Important
oh my
character
God.
for
like
sure.
A whole like half a page on Locke's girlfriend Helen.
Oh my God.
Okay. Not a page for Alvar Hanso specifically. Page for the Hanso Foundation.
Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. So it's pretty thorough then. I was like, what's one of the more obscure things that I could ask about?
I love just these photo spread pages. Look, this one's just weapons.
All the guns
knives,
they used.
Guns, spears. I don't even know what some of these
bolo thing, the twirly things that you throw at someone's leg. I think it's called a bolo. I think. I don't know.
God, the looking glass, more weapons.
Interesting. That's cool. What a good find.
I am so happy I own this. Like, I think I knew this existed and never got it for some reason when it first came out, but whole page for Vincent. The goodest good dog boy.
Yeah. What a good dog. That goes perfectly, though, with your like Venture Bros art book, right? You just got these like, here's these big giant books just full of stuff that I love.
Right. They are like brothers.
Good
I want one of these for everything. They had a ton of James Bond books, but none of them were recent enough because, the last movie just came out like a year and a half ago.
Oh, it's like when they do a box set and it's like, here's all 8 Fast and the Furious movies. And it's like, but dude, they're already on 10, right?
But some of them are like charmingly old. Like they're more of those like DK books. This is a DK book. The finest publishers in like informational pictographics. They had some that were like circa Die Another Day. And I love the idea of getting a 90s one where it's like, okay, well, this takes me up to Brosnan at least. One of them was like fabric covered. Like the cover of it was silk or something. truly the height of class for James Bond. I might go back and get that one.
I have a DK book here. It's not as thick as the Lost Encyclopedia you have, but it is the Ultimate Guide to Spider-Man. And this is also very dated. But it has a foreword by Stan Lee. All sorts of encyclopedic info. Here's a bunch of his costumes and stuff like that. We got his black suit. We got when he was Man Spider and he had 6 arms.
Wow.
There's Ben Reilly, the clone.
Okay.
Yeah, we got all sorts of stuff here.
How far does this go in time? Is Miles in here? Is this pre-Miles?
No, I got this in like elementary school, I think. Let me see when this was published.
I did realize this week.
Book. DK.
I realized this week I've been carrying around one of these DK books about Star Wars that says Star Wars, absolutely everything you have to know to get ready for the new movie coming out, The Force Awakens. I'm like, I should get a new one of these.
I used to have a Star Wars one very similar to this, but it was all the like Star Wars ships and stuff like that. And they had cross sections of like the AT-ATs and the AT-STs and the cross section of the Death Star. But it was back when like all there was the original trilogy. But it was one of these guys. All right, let's see. When was this published? Oh, 2001.
Wow.
First American edition, 2001. There you go. Yeah. So this guy is real old. Written by Tom DeFalco. I think wrote a bunch of Spider-Man comics at some point, if I'm not mistaken. But
cool.
There you go. Both got our DK books.
Time to learn.
If you guys did not know, this here is the Whatnauts Captain's Log. This is number 225. And each week here on the show, we thirst for the taste of legend. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson.
Yes.
Melissa, would you drink a cheese smoothie?
Okay. So there are like cheese boba teas you can get, but what they mean by cheese is it's sort of like a cream cheese, like foam on top.
Is it it's sweeter, not like a cream cheese icing kind of thing?
Not an icing necessarily. I don't know if it's that sweet, but it is sort of like, yeah, it's cream cheese, but it's like a thick foam you put on top, like how there's a thick foam on like a cappuccino or whatever. I've only seen it in videos, haven't yet had it myself.
Who would have thought? Science. Huh.
You can make anything into a foam.
Pretty much. I just asked you that random question because that came up while my partner and I were making dinner. We had steaks for dinner, but we were discussing some of the other things that we were going to make down the road. One of the things that I said I wanted to make was au gratin and just like good old cheesy potatoes, right? And we were like, we should probably make our like cheese sauce in the blender this time to make it a little bit smoother. Not that we've had like chunky cheese sauces that we've made, but just to get that like extra oomph, right? But
the extra oomph being less oomph in this case. I would imagine a chunk is oomph.
Sure, yeah. But when we were talking about that, the first thing my mind went to was, that's a cheese smoothie. I was like,
yum.
I think I would drink a cheese smoothie. I don't know.
I don't know if a smoothie needs to have some sort of produce in it to be considered a smoothie. That might be more of like a shake.
Yeah, it'd be like a weird protein shake. But
only protein is cheese.
Good stuff. Melissa, March is kind of a busy month. I'm finding out.
It's the maddest month if you're into basketball.
Sure is. I wasn't expecting March to be as busy as it is. I'm looking back on March last year, and it was busy for a different reason. I was slowly starting to pack up and I moved out here to Oklahoma at the end of March. So it's almost been a year that I've been here in Oklahoma. But work has been a little bit more busy than I was expecting. The Last of Us is just finishing up. The Mandalorian is just starting. The first one came out today. I haven't even watched it yet. Yellow Jackets is at the end of this month. Season 2 of Perry Mason on HBO is coming out on the 6th. That's a great show.
You watched season 1 of Perry Mason?
I sure did. Yeah, it was phenomenal.
We haven't covered this.
No, we have not.
How is he?
It's incredible. If you want a good time period or period piece crime show, it's more of a detective show, even though he's not really a detective, or at least this first case is him getting to be in the position of him becoming the Perry Mason that people know. This is the first case that got him the spotlight. He's a real person. You know that, right?
What?
Yes.
I thought he was an old TV show, a Matlock.
I think he's a real person. I could be wrong and just led everyone astray here. Good thing we have Google to do this. Oh, no, Perry Mason is a fictional character. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, I've been lied to, Melissa. My life is
the wildest minute of my life.
God.
There's so many people who think Sherlock Holmes is a historical figure, that he really existed in Victorian England. Not Sir Arthur Conan Doyle made him up. He is fictional.
Sherlock is totally fake, but Lupin, Arsène Lupin, that guy, 100% real.
Matlock is real. Murder, She Wrote. Real woman wrote real murders.
Gil Grissom is a real person. Okay? God.
What is the wildest show you could convince somebody is based on a true story? Or not even wildest, but what's one that's you could feasibly convince somebody is based on a true story? You had me convinced for
Perry
30
Mason.
seconds that I guess Perry Mason is real. He was a real man.
I completely thought he was until right now.
Who told you this? Was this a dad joke? When your dad lies to you for fun, not for sinister reasons, just for fun.
Perry Mason? Oh yeah, real dude. Real nice guy.
Right, it's just like that. Dads do that all the time.
No, I don't know where I got that from. Because the only thing I ever heard was that the show was pretty good and that people really liked it. That was all that I heard. And then I think I just went into it and just assumed oh, this guy seems so real.
Every time somebody tells you the show is really good, you replace the word good with real. Man, I can't believe that Pandora is really out there. I could go see The Way of Water.
You mean
Top Gun Maverick, a real man,
is really ongoing? No, yeah, I get it. It says he's a criminal defense lawyer who's the main character in works of detective fiction written by Erie Stanley Gardner. Perry Mason features in 82 novels, 4 short stories, all of which involve a client being charged with murder, usually involving a preliminary hearing or jury trial. Anyways, could have sworn he was real. God damn it. Anyways, my life has been completely turned inside out.
See, if you would have told me, hey, I'm watching Perry Mason 2 years ago when Perry Mason would have come out, you could have had this lie dispelled then. But no, because you kept quiet about it. You spent 2 more years secretly believing Perry Mason was real.
it has been like 2 years. I'm not even kidding. God, no. So I watched it a while ago as I was going through a whole bunch of shows that I had to catch up on HBO Max, and that was one of the shows that I had heard that people really enjoyed, that I would like, because it is a like crime story, and I watched it and I was like, oh, this is fantastic, real dude. And yeah, they kind of set it up like there might be a season 2. It wasn't the like, oh no, what happens next? But the like, okay, this case is solved. Like, what's next? There was a little like, we leave it open just a little bit, right? And it's been a while. So season 2 is out on the 6th, March 6th. So I'm super excited about that, because I didn't even know they had started filming it or anything. When I was watching The Last of Us, they often do like a little commercial for like, here's more things we have on HBO Max. And Perry Mason's season 2 was on there, and I was like, oh, it's happening in like a week. I'm so excited. But yeah,
finally, he lived more adventures, and somebody went and filmed them, and I get to watch the docu-series, Perry Mason.
Really, a reenactment is what it is. But yeah, I'm excited. But like, there's just so much. There's so many shows that I want to watch or catch up on. There was that Star Wars Bad Batch cartoon. Season 2, I think, is just finishing up or just about. If it hasn't already, I haven't even watched any of that yet that I want to catch up on. I feel like there's so much, and I'm so busy. March, who would have thought?
You're
Perry
busy.
Mason, a lie.
You're busy sitting around watching stuff. Does anything involve you leaving the house?
I mean, yeah, we're doing stuff. Like this Friday, we're going bowling.
Fun.
Yeah, we might do another fire pit this weekend. We bought a little fire pit thing for our backyard, and we've really only used it once. And we just haven't used it since then, but it's starting to be about that time where it's like, hey, the weather's nice. Let's go outside. Let's have a fire. Let's cook some food. Have some people over.
This is like good that. Fire pit season. You know, you're hovering around the 40s, 50s. That ain't bad.
Actually, the past couple of days has been in the like high 60s, low 70s. We almost had a tornado on Sunday, because it was in the like 30s or 40s like just a week ago, and then this like warm air started blowing in, and the whole thing mixing up spelled out disaster. But we're safe. Nothing happened near us, but it was just that one night that was like, uh-oh, what do we do?
Do you guys have a basement?
No, ours is just a one-story thing, and so there's that like little part in the hallway, like you know the little hallway to get back here into the studio. You've been here. There's a part of it that's like the bedroom to our, like the door to our bedroom. I was about to say the bedroom to our bedroom. The doorway. That's
how you know
bedroom.
You're a real player,
right?
You got an bedroom that leads to your
bedroom.
bedroom.
But then there was like the door to the bathroom, and then that like closet space. That's kind of like the center of the house. It's a little more open than we would like. I guess we could use like the closet in our bedroom, but it's so small that it would be like suffocatingly small, especially with like me and my partner in there and our 2 cats.
Right, you gotta take cats in there.
Yeah, absolutely. And there wouldn't be like space to do anything in that. You'd just be like cramped up. So
you tape a phone to the door. He's both huddled there watching Perry Mason you downloaded.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, did you know that he's a real guy? Yeah, we had that. I said Fire Pit this weekend. We almost were gonna go to a friend's baby shower at the end of the month, but that's falling on the like anniversary date of when I got out here to Oklahoma. So we were like, unfortunately, we were gonna do other stuff that day. So that's happened at the end of the month. That's kind of it. I don't know. It's just a lot. Wasn't expecting this much.
I need to tell you about another thing you need to watch out for in March. I'm happy you brought up March as the concept.
Yeah. What a good
blank
concept,
check.
You know?
Yeah. Blank Check, my beloved movie podcast. I've told you about it often. I made you listen to one episode when we did the pod swap. Every March, they do a March Madness bracket of the next director they're going to cover. And sometimes there is a theme. Like last year, it was all 20th century directors. The rule was they could have one movie released in the 21st century, but the bulk of their career had to be 20th century. So that's how we got Stanley Kubrick. He won last year. And this year's bracket is international cinema. Directors from all over the world. So there's a number of directors I know you like in here, but when I heard one of them, and they said, like, one of them was saying, this is kind of my theory on who could win the whole thing. I think people love this guy, career tragically cut short. We don't get to talk about him enough. I think Satoshi Kon could take the whole thing. Yep. I'm like, well, I'd better tell Kyle. So that Kyle wants to vote every week. It's a bracket. So I don't know how.
Satoshi Kon. Come on.
It's a bracket. So today is Peter Jackson v. Pablo Larraín.
There you go.
Representing Chile.
Oh, we should do some stuff from Chile one day since Ignacio is from out there. I don't think I've ever watched anything from Chile specifically.
He is a Chilean director, but he did the biopics Jackie and Spencer, the one about Princess Diana. So we're not going to be in Chile.
Gotcha. I'm sure,
but I did like Spencer quite a bit. Yeah, absolutely. I'm just telling you, those are the only ones I know.
Yeah, Satoshi Kon is a good one for sure that they could do some interesting things with, because a lot of his films also build on one another, like at least thematically, which is an interesting thing to think about. So cool. Thanks for bringing that to my attention.
I think tomorrow you're going to be voting on Park Chan-wook versus Steve McQueen, but not the guy who drives the cars, some director.
Okay. Not that Steve McQueen, the other Steve McQueen. Hashtag not my McQueen.
I was thinking the other day that Paul Newman made those salad dressings.
Yeah.
I think he's always going to be the salad dressing guy. Like when my dad puts on an old movie and I'm looking at old actors who I feel like are iconic in their generation that I probably should know, but I haven't seen enough of them to really get a grasp on him yet. I'm like, well, I know the salad dressing guy because his face is on the salad dressing. I'm like, nobody else is ever going to do that. He's going to be the one salad dressing actor. Nobody else is going to attempt to join that game. Timothée Chalamet isn't going to make a vinaigrette.
I don't know. He might. I'm
sure he does on his own time, but he won't brand it and put it in my grocery store.
Chalamet salad dressings. Chalamet's own. He could do a whole like Chateau Chalamet, right? And
maybe he'll go into wine. There's so many celebrities who have like a wine or a perfume or a cologne. I want somebody else to go the Paul Newman route. Like, no, this is Angelina Jolie's granola. In 40 years from now, we'll remember her better for the granola than for any of her film roles.
Who knows? Who knows? Oh, let's see. So speaking of stuff that's happening in March, Melissa, I started my rewatch of Yellow Jackets. Haven't gotten very far, and I'm watching it with my partner. It's her first time.
Fun.
We finished our Lost rewatch, and so I was like, well, we have to do Yellow Jackets because it like I love it so much because it is basically Lost.
Yeah, it's a good follow up.
Yeah, so we're 2 episodes in on my rewatch, her first time watching it. That pilot is a very, very strong pilot. It's good. It's a good first episode. It has a confidence in its storytelling, not to like it has the like weird stuff happening at the start with that like girl running through the snow and then she falls in the pit and then the other girls, they're all in their costumes and stuff like that. But then even just like with when they go to the like the times when they're like back in high school versus the present day stuff, it just has like it has a slower pace than I kind of expect most pilots to have, because the pilots kind of want to get to that proof of concept that here's the big thing, right? And it almost feels like it holds off on that, because it's not till episode 2 that you see the plane crash and you get that scene there. So good job for Yellow Jackets. I'm enjoying my rewatch on that.
I think that opening scene is so evocative that it buys them the time to play the rest of the episode pretty slow, and then have the crash itself as like a banger intro to episode 2, so people know, okay, it's not just the pilot. This thing could stay as strong as it was.
Absolutely.
I like Yellow Jackets. I am excited for season 2. I will be watching every week. This show is too harrowing for me to watch again. I will watch every episode of the show, but I'm going to watch every one of them only once.
Pretty gruesome. There's that scene in episode 1 where the high school tie breaks that girl's leg in the soccer match, and you see it just sticking out. It's just like, oh my god, that is not fun. That is painful.
See, the gruesome stuff doesn't bother me, but it's just the desolation of the entire situation. It just spins around in my head at night that they were out there for 19 months. It's the loneliness that haunts me, not any of the blood.
The loneliness is killing me. It's been good. It's been fun. I'm actually I say we actually take a quick break for housekeeping. We can come back to our cinema corners after that and all sorts of extra things. Looks like we might be coming up with some new categories for the Oscars, or they already did. I don't know.
Oh no, that's a prompt. That's not news.
Okay,
I should have labeled that.
I was like,
I just thought of it like
keep up with the Oscars enough to know. So who knows?
They're in 2 weeks, so no, they haven't released a new category 2 weeks out.
But we will be right back. We'll be right back. I just hit my mic. Oh my god. We'll be right back. Here at the Whatnauts, we make multiple different shows, and a lot of hard work goes into making them, so we would love it if you check them all out. If you enjoy our shows, patreon.com/thewhatnauts is the best place to show your support. For just $1 a month, you can get early access to episodes, and at our $3 tier, a Patreon exclusive podcast, The Pilots Club. You can even get a shout out and thank you on most of our shows at the $5 tier. And if you're one of our patrons already, thank you so much. It means the world to us. You can find out more information on our website, thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. When you type in The Whatnauts, all of our shows will pop up right there. Just don't forget to give us a nice rating and review if you like the shows. You can also find us on YouTube and Twitch for video versions of the shows, trailer reactions, and live streams. And lastly, we have merch. If you want to grab yourself a shirt or a hoodie or a mug or something else, head over to the whatnauts.com/store to pick up some merch today. All right, we are back. Big shout out once again to all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. It means a ton. And the reason I kind of wanted to do housekeeping right there, because I was just talking about the pilot of Yellow Jackets. But on the Pilots Club, our Patreon exclusive podcast, we went back and talked about the pilot of CSI, the original. Gil Grissom is on center stage there, and I thought it was really good one. Real strong. It was fun. Pilot. Yeah. Good to watch that again and then get to talk about it. So if you're interested in that, that's at our $3 tier on Patreon. That being said, cool things we've been up to here at the Whatnauts. We have been covering the Fast and the Furious over on the review show. We just put up our second podcast of that, which covers the second trilogy. So that's movies 4 through 6. So the like soft reboot, Fast 5 and Fast and Furious 6. Are all in that one. We had a blast talking about that. And at the end of March here, we will finish up our coverage on the Fast and the Furious, and then we'll get to go watch the brand new one in theaters, and we'll be all caught up.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. That's over on the review show. Over on the Reactor Core, of course, we've still been covering The Last of Us. And in a couple weeks here, we will be starting our reactions to The Mandalorian. And then I'm sure Melissa and I will be doing stuff for Yellow Jackets at the end of March and into the next month after that. So be on the lookout for all of that good stuff. And of course, last but not least, here on the Captain's Log, last week, monster trucks.
Yes.
2 weeks ago, I got to go see Monster Jam, and I talked about my experience on that. And then I was asking Melissa about her cinema education. When was the last time you just watched a movie to educate yourself on a director or some thing in cinema, or like, this would probably be in a like film studies 101 class. I should go watch that.
I do stuff like that. My latest education, little cinema corner update, finished all the Screams. I watched Scream 5 this week. I'm ready for Scream 6, which comes out in like 2 weeks.
There you go. Good stuff.
Still highly recommend all the Screams. You know who's in these new ones? Young Ty from Yellow Jackets, previously mentioned.
Yeah, I saw she was in that recently because we watched the start of Yellow Jackets, and then like she's also in The Leftovers, which we covered on the review show. That's her. My partner like knew she had seen her in something, and it was like eating at her in the back of her mind. Hadn't vocalized it to me yet. And then I was watching a YouTube video that Kind of Funny had put out not too long ago, and her picture pops up because she is the like character model and voice actor and motion capture for the Tinkerer in Spider-Man Miles Morales. Like she plays the main villain.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. In the video to be fair, in the video game, I don't know if I made that clear. Like Spider-Man Miles Morales video game.
Cool.
She's in that. Yeah, she's phenomenal in that too. But immediately once I said that, she was like, "That's where I saw her. I recognized her." So
yeah, Jasmine Savoy Brown, I believe is her name. Really gets your attention with The Leftovers. I still think about that performance. That's incredible.
Yeah, she's phenomenal.
And I think when you were watching that, you're also like, Margaret Qualley was in Death Stranding.
Yep.
So Leftovers actors across all sorts of video games. You can go find them.
Also, Léa Seydoux, is that how you say her name? I don't know. She's in the more recent Bond
that's
movies. She's also in Death Stranding. So.
Everybody's in Death Stranding. Conan O'Brien,
he sure
others.
Is, yeah. Yeah. Oh, actually, I have something here. Let me see if this is something that I can bring up on the podcast and see what they say here. Let's see. Okay, not something I can mention yet. So there's something I might mention on a future episode of the Captain's Log here. Something that I ran into this morning that was just like, what is happening here? But anyways.
The mystery's brewing.
Yeah. Speaking of mysteries, I have also been watching this Korean show called Signal that has been on my list for quite a while. And I have to say, very good. Good show.
Good.
They make some weird, interesting choices in this. They have a stylistic choice that when I first saw it, I was very confused. And then I just kind of chalked it up to, well, I guess this is maybe something Netflix did to the show when it came over from Korea, because it's not a Netflix original. And so I was like, there's something up with the aspect ratio. And then I realized, no, it's not the entire show. It's only when they do flashbacks. And so I looked it up, and sure enough, yeah, this was just a stylistic choice that the show made, that whenever they do flashbacks, the aspect ratio must have been shot in like 4:3 and then stretched.
Oh, yeah.
Because it doesn't look very good. You get used to it, but it's enough that it's like, this is noticeable. What happened here? And then they go into present day, and you're like, but that looks normal. What's happening here? But yeah, that is a very, very good crime show with with like a fantastical twist, because one of the main characters ends up stumbling upon a walkie-talkie that can communicate with itself in the past.
Cool.
And it only happens at certain times of the day and not every day. And yeah, it's like the main detective in the present talking to a detective in the past. And the show in the present day is mostly about like the cold case squad as they take on these cases that have been left unsolved. And it just so happens that all of these cases have been cases that this one detective had been on previously. So they're like communicating with him back in the past to like, oh, we caught this guy in the future. So now that we know who it is, you can go back and catch him back then, so that he never did all this extra stuff. And these like other victims will be saved. But of course, that also leads to like unintended consequences and stuff like that. It's a really, really interesting show that I recommend. And it's available on Netflix.
Nice.
So, there you go. Good stuff with that. Melissa, you went to go see Quantumania a second time.
I did. Saw it with my friend Jack last week, as usual, our Marvel tradition. And then a week after that, my brothers wanted to go see it. And they found that the only night they were both free to go see it together was our mom's birthday. So they're like, can we just invite Mom? Does Mom want to go?
Happy birthday, Mom. You're invited to our plans.
Yeah. We're like, she would like to go see a movie with all the kids. She's seen Ant-Man. She told me once she saw Paul Rudd on TV and said quietly, I like Paul Rudd. So that's proof. That's proof enough.
And it's a movie about family, right? Like,
right.
There you go.
So we all go Friday night at like 8:00 to go see Quantumania. Myself for the second time. And so I normally go to the movies on like Saturday morning, like Saturday, sort of like 11, 12, 1, where it's like it's still not very crowded unless it's like a massive, massive blockbuster. Like, I think we saw like Endgame in that time slot and it was packed, but it wasn't that busy for like Quantumania. So it truly has to be huge for there to be like a sizable crowd in that time frame. So we go to see it on Friday night. It is a more crowded theater. And we're in a smaller theater, kind of like the way back of the cinema. So it really feels full. And in the row behind us is a gaggle of young boys. They have those like snack trays, like the little kids pack you get at the theater with the little soda and the little popcorn and the little like M&Ms or whatever.
Yeah.
They all file in. There's, I don't know how many, like 3 or 4 of them. They file in. They've got that. And they immediately start like throwing popcorn at each other. This is during the pre-roll. They start like yelling back at all the commercials. They're not even yelling things that make sense most of the time. Like they'll just yell out, Michael Jackson, Bitcoin.
What? Okay.
A commercial comes on for the new Harry Potter game on PlayStation, I think. And one of the boys shouts out, as soon as the logo comes on screen, he's like, oh, PlayStation, but Xbox is better. So it's, I don't know what age they are, but they're that age where you just shout out a thing you're familiar with, but you have an opinion that you feel like you must state already. Like you're young enough that you're like, PlayStation, I know what that is, but old enough that you have a brand loyalty to Xbox that you must declare to an entire theater.
You'd be surprised how bad the console wars can get and how dumb grown-ass men can look. No, Xbox is better. I swear. God, just like look at what Phil Spencer has done for all of that. It's just like, oh my God, dude. Like, really?
So I don't know. They're like 9 or 10 or whatever. At one point they yell out, like, again, this is before the trailers, like it's during the pre-roll, and one of them says loudly, kind of jokingly to his friends, it's too bad that Ant-Man dies at the end of the movie. And I had to lean over to my mom like, Mom, Ant-Man doesn't die at the end of the movie. He's okay.
Don't listen to these boys, Mom.
Also, I told my mom, any treat you want from the theater for your birthday, I'll get it for you. And she wanted an icy. And I asked her what flavor, and she said green. And I'm like, there's a green one? She's like, yeah, look. And she points at it, and it's a Mountain Dew. So just so you know,
just
the Mountain Dew
icy.
The Mountain Dew curse is continuing to follow me outside of the podcast.
Absolutely.
Like,
my
during the movie
showed me a picture today of Mountain Dew inspired like fake nails. And she was like, should I? I was like, no, absolutely not.
Maybe I will. So during the movie, they just sort of are loud. There's less specific yelling. There's just sort of general loudness. I'm still getting like a little piece of popcorn thrown at me. One kid just keeps playing with his like reclining seat. So during one of the more dramatic scenes, you just hear as he just pushes it back and forth.
Oh my God.
I'm sitting next to one of their moms, I think, or some sort of caretaker who's like very frustrated with one of them and kept getting up and going back there. And I can hear her whispering like, if you keep acting up like this, I'm going to move you. I'm going to find an empty seat. You won't get to sit with your friends. But I
must have been her own child, because I don't know if you do that to like one of your child's friends at a movie.
I mean,
it's like, you won't get to sit with your friends.
I mean, she could have been a young mom or maybe like a really involved older sister. I wasn't exactly sure. She wasn't like just a babysitter that they hired, unless she's a very intense babysitter. I have no idea what the situation was.
Sure,
with, like, these kids, that lady, if there were other parent figures in the audience, if it was like somebody's birthday, I don't know. They're sitting behind me. I can't see any of them. I just saw those snack boxes when they walked in, because it was the first time in years I've seen one of those like kid theater snack packs. I was just hit with a wave of nostalgia. Didn't look at the kids who were carrying the little snack boxes. But I was this lady was next to me, was clearly so embarrassed, but I'm like, I am having the time of my life because I never get to experience this. I am at the quiet, well-behaved 11:30 a.m. movies most of the time. Now, to be fair, this is a movie I had already seen the week before.
Sure, yeah.
So like I couldn't have the experience ruined for me. It's a movie I thought was fine, but it's not like there was anything. It's like they must be quiet for this one incredible scene I am really looking forward to seeing again. I was just like, have at it. Like, I do respect and understand that you are mortified and other people in the audience probably aren't enjoying this. But just the sheer novelty of loud, rowdy popcorn boys in the row behind me. I'm like, this time, tonight, I'll take it. It is time I have my due. I am due for rowdy theater experience.
We almost had one when we went to go see Cocaine Bear. Surprising, well, I guess not surprisingly, because everyone has been like, oh yeah, Cocaine Bear, yeah. But it was a packed theater.
Fun.
And yeah, we had people on either side of us, and the two people next to me, I just like loud, really loud, and not just like loud for loudness' sake, but had like really booming voices that carried,
just naturally loud.
Yeah. And then like the people in the row in front of us were also talking, and apparently on the people next to my partner were kind of having some like relationship something happening over there that was just like, what is happening? And thankfully, once they made some comments like during previews of like, that movie looks terrible, right? Like just like some stuff like that. But once the actual movie started, silence, and it was just like, oh, okay, good, thank you. Like this, oh yes.
I remember the little AMC film strip ribbon guy telling you silence is golden. Now I have to look him up. I miss him.
The ones we have are always the like Amazon Studios like bits and clips of their shows and movies to be like, hey, no talking, put that cell phone away. And it's just stuff from like The Boys and from whatever other shows they do on Amazon. I don't even know. The Boys, that's it. Fleabag, right? Is that one that they do on Amazon? I don't know.
Mean cartoon superhero dad. Rings of Power.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna say irredeemable if I open my mouth, so I just have to describe it.
Invincible. The name is so similar.
Invincible. Yeah. Is anybody named Vince? Is that like that guy's name?
His name is not Vince.
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I haven't read it.
No, I think because you really liked Irredeemable, I think you would really, really love Invincible.
Okay.
It is also hyper violent.
See previous.
I think you would really enjoy it.
I'm continually mortified when I have to tell people that gore doesn't bother me because I feel like it makes me look like an absolute mad woman. I feel like I'm supposed to be squeamish, and I'm sorry to tell people I'm not.
Well, yeah, I think you would absolutely love it then. But yeah, that's this thing we get to be like, please silence your cell phones, don't talk, all that good stuff.
Well, there were no cell phones. And to be fair, the boys talked less during the actual movie. They just continued to just sort of, they'd go like, yeah, like they just sort of made like loud reactionary noises and moved the motorized recliners a bunch and threw popcorn at me. Not at me specifically, just sort of towards me. I was just in front of them. Could have been anybody.
Yeah. Or like ricochet, like bounced off and hit you. Yeah.
But finally, at the end of the movie, and I'm not really going to talk about what it is, but in case people haven't seen it yet, I want to remain spoiler-free for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. There is a part at the very end where Scott thinks he has done something good, but is second guessing himself. He's like, yeah, I'm happy I did this and saved the day. But what if I didn't? What if I killed everybody? One of the boys shouts out, yeah! It's like, yes, you did, Scott!
Screw you, Scott!
No, I think the line is like, have I just killed everybody? And then the kid goes, yes! Which we have yet to see if the prophecy of the boy will come true. We'll check in, in a couple MCU phases from now.
Do you have any kind of like embarrassing theater moments like that where like you or your friend group were those people in the theater?
Once, when I was in 8th or 9th grade and The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movie came out, the one with Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
My friends and I had just read that book and we're sitting there in the audience, like nitpicking things to each other, like just being real petty, like 14-year-old know-it-alls who are proud that we read a book like before the movie. Right. It's like, in the book, that spaceship is yellow. It's so simple. I don't know why they couldn't just make the spaceship yellow like it says in the book. And then the lady in front of us, like 15 minutes in, turned around like, are you guys going to keep doing this? And it was before assigned seating. So she just like got up and moved. And then I did feel very bad.
Melissa never talked in a movie theater ever again. We had one that was like, we weren't necessarily the like ones like speaking out loud or pestering, but we saw, I forget what it's called. It was like Defiance or Resistance. I don't remember what the movie. It's some like generic like PG-13 action.
Who's
movie.
in it? Is that Gerard Butler?
It's not Gerard Butler. It had the guy that played Sabretooth.
Liev Schreiber.
Yes, it has
from
him.
The Scream movies.
I think it also had, I don't remember. It was some like action like period piece. I think it was like a World War II film or something like that. But we are watching that. It's not great or anything. It's just kind of boring. So we're sitting there waiting for it to be over. And like in the climax of the film, there is a moment where his character comes through in like a major way for the plot. And my friend Nick, who is sitting next to me, just goes, yeah, like out loud, like fist pumps, and like me and everyone else just like look over at him like, you're really enjoying this, huh? He's like, yeah, I am. And we were like, we're so bored. Like, none of us liked it except him. And he liked it so much. It was so funny. And we never let him live that down because that fist pump was just so embarrassing for him. But it was like this involuntary reaction.
I think we live now in a time when there are more middle schooler friendly movies throughout more of the year, with like a lot of the big blockbuster franchises there being so many of them, having movies that come out so frequently, like 3 MCU movies a month. A lot of them are like right there in the PG-13 range. I remember being in like 8th grade. My friends and I would go to the movies at the mall because the mall was new and it was cool to have a movie theater that was like that close to our houses. And like just somebody's mom could drop us off. Maybe somebody else's mom could pick us up like 3 hours after that, doesn't have to be the same mom both times. And we'd go during spring break during the day when we were off school, which is like March. And back then, like there are no blockbusters like in March. It's not like there is now when it's like, we just had a Marvel movie in a couple weeks and we have a John Wick. Like there was kind of a dry period for film, but it was our spring break, so we were just going to go anyway. And nobody really had any specific goal. They were just like, movies. And they're like, Melissa, what do you want to see? And I'm like, I think that new boxing drama Cinderella Man looks pretty good. I think they talked about it on Ebert and Roper. So me and like 2 or 3 friends, 14-year-old girlfriends, went to go see Cinderella Man in the middle of the day in an audience with one old lady who did not look at or talk to us.
That's funny. Yeah, it was just like one ticket to generic PG-13 action movie, please.
Yeah,
like that's what it used to be back in that day.
We've got like so many more of them now.
You would forget, but it's not just that we have more of them. It's that these franchises, I think, speak to a wider audience and is not just like, well, it's kind of all there is, right? There is just a lot more, and I think all of the streaming services we now have prestige television.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
All right. I am looking up movies of 2004, which would have been the year that I finished 7th grade and started 8th grade. These are the movies that I remember I saw in the theaters. The Village.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I saw that one.
Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
Shrek 2. A series of unfortunate events.
Mm-hmm.
That might have been all of them. I might have gone to the movies 4 times the whole year, and now I go to the movies like 4 times in a month. And looking at it, I'm like, there's other stuff I would have gone to see. Like, if I had a friend who's like, do you want to go see The Day After Tomorrow? I would have said, sure. You know, if we had a car, like if somebody's parent could have, or if somebody's parental figure, I had a friend who like tried to be cool and ironic and detached and was like, can somebody's parental figure drive us to the mall tonight?
The parental units.
Oh my God, yes. One of the parentals has got to come get us from the food court.
So I just looked it up. The movie that we went to go see was called Defiance, which came out in 2008. Meaning we were like 17, 18. This was like end of high school. Like
you could have gone to see like an R-rated movie. Maybe it was R-rated. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it was PG-13. Let me look it up. What was it rated?
During this time we did sneak into 2 R-rated movies by buying tickets to like Shark Boy and Lava Girl and then sneaking in. The 2 R-rated movies we saw were, I want to say, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. Does that sound right?
Nice.
And like the Zack Snyder zombie movie. What is that one? Day of the Dead? I think it was those. My brain was so clouded by like fear. I was scared like one of the ushers would look in the theater, look at us and say, no, I don't think they're 17. I think they're 15. I'm going to bust them.
That's so funny. I don't see what this movie was rated, but Defiance also, the main star was Daniel Craig.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Daniel Craig, Liev Schreiber, Jamie Bell. Those are the only names I recognize. Directed by Edward Zwick.
These are movies from 2005, the other part of 8th grade that I know I saw in the theaters. Not all these with friends. Some of these were with family. Our dad used to take us to movies a lot. I saw Robots. I saw Sky High. I saw Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Sky High still holds up. Sky High is wonderful.
It's good. Yeah.
I did go see Revenge of the Sith.
Mm-hmm.
I did not see Sin City, but somebody rented it and brought it to my birthday party sleepover, and we watched it. And then I woke up at like 2 a.m. and they were just watching it again. Oh, and Dad did take us to see Fantastic Four. I didn't like it, but you remember I rewatched it like a year or 2 ago, and I'm like, now I think it's very cheesy fun.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, we didn't get to everything on our list here this week. maybe we can do the new categories for the Oscars next week. And
think on it.
I have like a language thing that I wanted to talk with you about, ask you about all that stuff. But let's finish it up here with our Cocaine Bear Yankee Goes to Hollywood thing. Let me pull this up here. All right, let's get into it. Relax. Melissa, we both went to go see Cocaine Bear this past week. It was a lot of fun. I say go check it out. I'm sure you would agree. But if Cocaine Bear was a candle, what would it smell like?
Now, here's the trick. No film or TV show has ever described to me what cocaine smells like. I constantly see people putting it up their nose, but then they never report on what the scent of the experience was.
I don't think it really has a distinct smell. But I don't know, because I also haven't done cocaine. So
I feel like I'm not supposed to Google it. What does cocaine smell like? The
FBI will come knocking on your door. It's the DEA. I see. I think it would be a candle that has that like pine cone smell, that like pine wood smell. Smells like a forest, right?
Cone specifically,
outdoorsy smell, right? And then expensive French perfume mixed in there.
Yeah. Ooh,
and blood. It smells like the smell of blood.
I don't know if there are blood candles. Again, another thing I don't feel like I'm supposed to Google. Blood scented candle.
What else? Do you have any other kind of like, I think this would be a fitting smell?
Pasta. There's a great appearance by Pasta briefly in the film that I greatly appreciated. Yeah, maybe just sort of like a buttery smell. It smells like the woods and like maybe sort of like a musky floral perfume. Just like a little bit of butter.
Okay. There you go. That would be the interestingly smelling candle. That would be Cocaine Bear. I had a blast watching that one. Definitely go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. But I think we should end the podcast there, wrap it up. We can get back to some more stuff that was on our list next week. Cool. Melissa, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities, show where me and my brother Jams talk about weird old kid shows you feel like only you remember.
There you go. You guys can find me at Yo Kyle Springer. And if you guys would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are, of course, at the Whatnauts. So please go like, share, and subscribe. That would help us out a ton. If you're watching the YouTube version of this, go check... hiccups. Go check out one of the other videos over there. That would help us out even more. This has been number 225 of the Whatnauts Captain's Log. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Bye.